Whose responsibility is it to make the country's roads safer? And what is behind the high incidence of road accidents? What prompted the Road Accident Fund's My Road, Your Road safety message? And why is Santaco calling on the Department of Transport to grant them regulatory powers? What time is it? It's question time. Welcome to the show. My name is Limpopo. Carnage on the country's roads continues to pose a headache to the Department of Transport and law enforcement agencies. Over the Freedom Day and Workers' Day long weekend in May this year, 237 lives were lost in a space of 5 days. This included 15 people killed in Randfontein West of Johannesburg when the taxi they boarded allegedly swerved into an oncoming truck. Meanwhile, 7 Wits University students and 2 other passengers traveling back from a SABC church service in Limpopo also lost their lives. A minibus they were traveling in is said to have crashed onto the trailer of a stationery truck, and they were subsequently burned beyond recognition after the vehicle caught fire. The DNA test results for these students have been released and funeral preparations are underway this weekend. We are live, therefore you can call us and air your views. The numbers to dial 089-110-4210. Our Twitter handle at QuestionTime24. My guest today, Sello Msutu. He's the marketing manager at RAF, that's Road Accident Fund, and Bafana Makakula, Chief Strategic Officer at the South African National Taxi Council. But before we continue, let's have a look at what the Minister of Transport had to say.
By any measure of standards, we are all unanimous that an increase of 106 fatality is a cause for concern. I would like to take this opportunity to express our support to the Wits University and the SABC Church in their laudable endeavors to identify the 7 students who perished in that gruesome collision near Mokopane. I hope that the forensic and pathological services would work diligently and with speed to assist families and friends to find closure.
Well, that's the Minister of Transport there, Medibua Peters. Gentlemen, welcome. Bafana, thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Once
thank
again.
You so much.
But let me start with you at the Road Accident Fund quickly. We know that this weekend funerals of those vets students are going to be taking place. The Zion Christian Church has confirmed that that will be happening over this weekend. Perhaps let's just talk briefly about that.
Yes, thanks and evening to our viewers at home. The RAF, through its legal mandate to provide carbon compensation to accident victims wrongfully injured and those that result in the death of many, also highlighting the VET 7 as well. The RAF is providing funeral support to the victims to ensure that our lost 7 are buried in dignity. And we have met with the families. We have activated our funeral support this weekend. Most of them will be buried in various places in the provinces, and RAF has ensured that they are going to be buried with dignity by making sure that we extend our mandate to those families that are bereaved.
Are you assisting these families because they are, I mean, the deceased are VET students, or they are ZCC members, or what? Why are you involved so heavily?
Not at all, Limpo. It's not heavily. We do this every time when such tragic incidents happen to all our road users and our people in the country. You have seen there has been many fatal accidents, which are totally unacceptable on a high number as well. We have always been there. When these tragic incidents happen, we are there when everybody is mourning. We come as the RAF and pick up the pieces. Okay. We have provided this support. It's our legal mandate to ensure that we provide those that are wrongfully injured with all the support that the RAF is legally bound to offer.
Okay. Bafana, and you know I have a problem calling you Bafana.
I know.
But let's talk about this carnage. We referred to that fateful long weekend And people came up with all sorts of justifications. It's a long weekend, it's month end, and all that. And unfortunately, taxis are always, involved, and they're like, what do you expect from them?
Well, we are disappointed, and we say condolences to the families that lost their beloved ones. However, we don't end there. We continue with our program Hlokomela, in conjunction, of course, with the RAF, RTMC, RTIA. We're on the road as Santaco, making sure that awareness is on its high. No matter this continues, we will continue with our awareness program. We have now embarked on a program called a driver safety training in conjunction with RTMC. President of Santaco, Mr. Philip Daibosh, is going from one province to another with RTMC on a 2-day course, showing the public that we are concerned, and it is not our wish that we see these accidents happening. We're really doing our best.
Is enough being done, though, to change people's attitudes on the road, the human factor?
Look, there's nothing that is ever enough. You have to always continue and make this awareness. I mean, Arrival Life campaign has started. I think I was still a young boy, and people just don't listen. We want to continue with our awareness programs and make people aware that it begins with you. If all of us can obey and drive as careful as possible, definitely we are sure that accidents can be avoided. And people should also think that, look, money spent on bearing people, it's money that should be spent on getting people accommodation, yes, RDPs, or doing other programs in terms of moving the country forward.
I always say that whenever I talk to you or Mr. Daibosh, I get this feeling that I'm not talking to the real taxi people, because this is not the picture and the image of taxi drivers.
Well, unfortunately, this is an unfortunate situation that in most cases, people will only highlight these things when, for instance, when a taxi is involved in an accident, it will be there for the whole week. When the President and RTMC, RAF are on the road educating people about road safety, nobody wants to take that and take it to the public to show that, listen, these people are not only involved when it's bad, but they are also there to make sure that those bad things don't happen. For instance, I'm talking about our Hlokomela program, which started in 2010. That program continues, and we continue to appeal to our taxi drivers to be on the alert, and our owners to make sure that the vehicles going on the road there are roadworthy all the time.
My road, your road.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about that. What is that?
My road, your road, hashtag My Road, Your Road. It's an important program or campaign of the Road Accident Fund, which seeks to intensify, highlight the importance of being considerate of the road, telling people that roads are shared spaces. Provide the privilege that you have to use the road to the person behind you, to the driver on your side, and your driver to your right, and pedestrians as well on the road. To say that if we hit to road traffic rules, if we become considerate on the road as road users,
yes,
we are sure that this carnage and the scourge of road fatalities and accidents on the road will be reduced in line with the UN Decade of Action commitments that South Africa is part of for the 2020. Because the rate that we are going at, it's becoming a challenge to think that we will realize those objectives as a signatory in South Africa by 2020. However, we're saying this collective responsibility, being considered on the road, intensifying road safety awareness and education in various platforms that we as the RAF are doing. If we do that and we ensure that our own employees, we ensure that our neighbors, our friends, school children become road savvy, we are sure that we will definitely at least reduce this carnage.
Now, are you involving the likes of Santaco in this?
Santaco is a very important stakeholder of the RAF in the transport fraternity. We have had many MOUs signed with the likes of Santaco and other stakeholders to ensure that as a collective, it's important that we work together towards the same objective. Yes, taxis are those many vehicles that are on the road, more than perhaps your small cars. And if we partner with the likes of Santaco and other entities as well, we certainly will win this battle.
Now, Dr. Buffon, why do you want regulatory powers?
Look, we believe that if we are given regulatory powers, this will contribute, one, to the road safety. In this sense, at this present moment, we don't have really control over the operator employing a qualified driver. We don't have powers in forcing that before you employ a driver, he must have gone through our academy. We have an academy which is a safety college where we teach our drivers customer care and also advanced driving. Now, our aim with that, which we believe that if we are given these regulatory powers, we will enforce that even PDP is not awarded to a driver who doesn't know how to treat a customer and a driver who doesn't know how to drive and take care of lives, because our academy deals with people knowing that in my hands I'm carrying 15 lives which support at least 5 per family.
Hold it there. Gudani, you are in Pretoria. Welcome. Your line is terrible.
Can you hear me now?
No, I can hear you, but you're distorted. I don't know. Maybe we need to just get rid of Gudani there and perhaps try and get him back on the line. I'm battling to hear him there. Right now, let's take a quick break, and a reminder that you can call us and there you've used the numbers to dial 089-1104-210, and question time shall return.
Technology isn't all scary. There's also fun stuff like gaming.
Lots of women do play games, whether it's on their phones or their tablets.
Then there are Africans who are using new tools to make other people's lives much easier.
We typed the whole CV on a small, QWERTY Nokia phone.
For all these and other technology and social media news, join me, Spumelele Zondi, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central African Time on SABC News.
Come back, you're still watching Question Time. Before we continue, let's have a look at this clip by Santaco President Philip Taibosh.
Firstly, I want to indicate to them that they must pray that the minister must never give Santaco limited regulatory powers, so that Santaco can act like your law societies, your medical societies. The day when the minister presents us with that, we will be able to ensure that a driver who is not listening, because we are helping these drivers through education, and I must thank RTMC for coming on board in assisting us. But I'm saying to those drivers, your days are coming where you will be banned for life from driving within the taxi industry.
Will be quite a day. But my guest today, Selom Sutu, is the marketing manager at the Road Accident Fund, and Mr. Bafana Magakula is the chief strategic officer at Santaco. Archie, you are in welcome. Welcome.
Good day, gentlemen.
We seem to be having a problem with our lines. Definitely. I can hardly hear Archie now. Please just redial. The numbers will be on your screen as we speak, so that we may take your calls and hear what you have to say. Dr. Makakon, you're saying you want regulatory powers to act like medical societies and law societies and all that.
Yes.
Can we trust that those powers will be in safe hands?
Look, if you cannot trust that, then you will not be living in South Africa. Because if you live in South Africa, and I know you've been using a taxi from when you were still a young boy until now you are a young man. Mm. And you've seen that we are trying our best. When some cases are reported, we will attend to them. But unfortunately, then you can't completely act like, look at how SAFA was given regulatory powers, which the owner or the driver cannot do as he wishes. That if he goes through a red robot, and then we cannot say this driver is suspended.
But how do we know that you're going to do that, Ndati Makakula, when your member organizations kill each other over routes? I mean, Mall of Africa opens in 3 days. Taxis are already fighting over routes as if they were there even before the mall was created.
I'm sure you're correct. If we had those regulatory powers, definitely one. We could have been involved there whilst the mall was still under construction, because we could have avoided this by forcing ourselves, because in these regulatory powers, we will make sure that even government involve us in their IDP plans, even before they dream of developing a mall of that nature, or not even a mall, even if they are developing a cinema. Because whether you like it or not, people who will be commuting there, one, there will be workers, and some will be people who are coming or going to do groceries. Yes. Obviously, a majority of them come from disadvantaged areas where only a taxi can have access to them, and them can have access to that mall through a taxi. So once we are regulated, we will make sure that we are involved at early stages, and make sure, because we are the people who know who operates where, and we are the people who knows how to avoid this thing in advance. Unfortunately, we are always caught in between and always involved when something has happened. No authority will involve us in the beginning or prior to anything is constructed or a building erected.
Would the regulatory powers ban guns in the taxi industry?
Look, once we have those regulatory powers, if, for instance, we say once you are caught with a gun, I'm making SAFA as an example.
Yes.
You can't take a player from another club into another club as and how you wish, and that club cannot just register that player. In the taxi industry presently, my brother Mpo, if you want a driver, you just stand there in the street and you say, here's a taxi. Somebody shows you a PDP. You don't even check. You don't know his address. You know nothing. So once we have those regulatory powers, one of the things we'll make sure happens is the driver must be properly registered before he is taken onto a vehicle. We really believe that test us. Give us the regulatory powers. Obviously, there will be agreements that if we abuse them, they can be taken back, but we assure you, trying without them at this point in time should be proof enough that if they can be given to us, definitely we'll make sure that the industry is fully controlled. We don't have to blame the police and blame everyone, because in our regulatory powers we will have entrench some clauses to say, how do we work with the police? Because in most cases, some members are able to identify these things before they happen. But because we cannot force police to go there and arrest people, they will tell you there's no case, there's not that and that. Then we always find ourselves reacting after a situation.
Let's look at the RAF quickly before we close. Some of your most common claims, what do they relate to?
The schedule of the fatalities or the road accidents, your funeral support benefits, your general body injuries, head of damage called general injuries, your loss of income or loss of earnings, and medical expenses. Those are some of our key heads of damages or benefits, by and large, that people can claim from. And those are the ones, but of lately, your general damages, the statistics are going up as well. Many people are getting injured on the road. Your loss of income, people are hospitalized, others lose the amenities of life, they cannot go back to work. And those are the issues that we have. 2.4 billion a month goes to payment of claims. A chunk of it goes to the youth.
That's a lot of money, 2.4 billion, which is spent just
on average a month. That's what is paid due to road fatalities. The cost to the economy per annum, 306 billion per annum. And if that doesn't paint a bleak picture to you and to someone next to you, then those numbers are just a shield to the reality of what is happening out there. Our graveyards are bleeding with innocent people who are dead today because of the unnecessary and the lack of patience on the road and so forth.
Have you managed to deal with corruption, though, within RAF?
Road Accident Fund has a very intensive program of fighting fraud and corruption, both internally and externally. You would have seen on many media platforms, we make arrests. Currently, our internal forensic investigative department is working very hard to root out corruption, both inside the organization, outside. We have seen in the media the likes of Ronald Bobrov, who have fled the country. That is a lot of work in partnership as well with our law enforcement agencies that the RAF is putting in to ensure that the monies for the taxpayers go to the correct people. Those are innocent road victims and anyone else who benefit, and not only to fraudsters.
And have you managed so far to ensure that claims that are made are quick, and I mean, people don't have to wait for 2 years, 3 years?
Our processes are being improved. The Road Accident Fund of today is not the RAF of 5 years ago. We have improved. We have expediting our claims processes. If we have all the substantial compliance documents, we ensure that at least within 2 years, we do finalize such claims effectively, efficiently. Funeral support benefit claims, those are quick to do. We can do that within a week. We have service providers assisting us on that one. The issue with the timeline of finalizing claims or processing of it, it's the issue of fault, because we need to investigate and find out the merits of the case, how it happened, who was at fault. There is then a lengthy process of checking compliance and validity of a claim before we can even start getting into the nitty-gritties of it as to how much the RAF will compensate you for, how much medical expenses and so forth we are going to be paying to you as a victim of a road crash.
Okay, that's fine. Dr. Makakula, perhaps your final thoughts to your clients out there as well.
Look, we want to thank all our passengers who are commuting in the taxis on a daily basis, and would like to really send our condolences to the families that lost their beloved ones from accidents. Those are unforeseen circumstances, but we want to assure them that with our program Hlokomela and our road safety drives on the driver's training program in conjunction with Road Traffic Management Corporation, RTMC, we are out there to make sure that we outroot any recklessness, and we wish that this plan succeed.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for the time. And that was question time for today. A big thank you to my guests and to you for watching the show. From me and the crew, you have yourself a wonderful time. Goodbye.